My 10-year-old daughter had a severe peanut allergy. One day, while I was at work, my mother-in-law forced her to eat a peanut butter sandwich. When my innocent daughter refused, she slapped her hard. When I came home earlier than expected and saw my daughter's face, fear rushed through me. My hands started trembling. My name is Lena Brooks, and I am 34 years old. I've spent the last decade working as a registered nurse, dedicating my life to saving others. But I never thought I'd find myself in a courtroom, fighting not for a patient, not for a stranger, but for my own daughter's life. Her name is Lily, and she is 10 years old, bright, independent, and far wiser than most kids her age. She has always been careful about what she eats, but not by choice. She has a severe peanut allergy, something we've known since she was a toddler. For years, I have done everything possible to educate my family about her condition. I've explained the dangers, shared the doctor's reports, and repeated the warnings over and over. A single mistake, just one, could send Lily into anaphylactic shock, cutting off her ability to breathe. Most people understood. Most people took it seriously. But one person refused to listen. Margaret Brooks, my mother-in-law. A woman stuck in the past, clinging to the belief that food allergies are not real, just an excuse for overprotective parenting. A woman who has mocked my medical knowledge, dismissed my warnings, and believed she knew better than doctors. She always said the same thing. Back in my day, kids ate whatever was on their plate. There was no such thing as peanut allergies. These things didn't exist before parents started coddling their children. She was wrong. And because of her, my daughter nearly died. Margaret and I were never close. From the moment I married Daniel Brooks, she made it clear that I wasn't the daughter-in-law she wanted. I wasn't soft-spoken enough, I was too independent, and worst of all, I wasn't willing to bow to her authority. But for the sake of my husband and the family, I tolerated her sharp remarks and passive-aggressive comments. Things only got worse after Lily was born. At first, Margaret was thrilled to be a grandmother. She was excited to spoil Lily, telling everyone how she couldn't wait to teach her how to bake, how to cook, and how to share family meals together. But when Lily was diagnosed with a life-threatening peanut allergy at just 2 years old, that excitement faded. Instead of concern, Margaret was annoyed. A peanut allergy? That's ridiculous. She's just sensitive because you never let her eat real food. I try to be patient. I explained the medical condition to her in simple terms, thinking maybe she just didn't understand. I even gave her a doctor's written diagnosis, hoping she would take it seriously. She didn't. At every family gathering, she would roll her eyes at the special meals I packed for Lily. She would loudly complain about how kids today are raised in bubbles. She would pressure Lily to eat normal food, whispering to her, "Just take one bite, sweetheart. Your mom is overreacting." Daniel would try to keep the peace, saying things like, "Mom doesn't mean any harm, Lena. She's just old-fashioned." But old-fashioned thinking can be dangerous. And I knew it was only a matter of time before Margaret crossed a line she couldn't come back from. Then one night, she did. It started with a phone call. I was working the night shift at the hospital, covering for a coworker who had called in sick. Daniel was away on a business trip, so we had arranged for Lily to stay with my best friend, Rachel. But then, out of nowhere, Margaret called. "Lena, I'll watch Lily tonight." I froze. This wasn't part of the plan. "Margaret, that's not necessary. Rachel is." "Nonsense," she interrupted. "I'm her grandmother. She should be with family." I hesitated. Every instinct in my body told me to say no. But I was exhausted. I had worked back-to-back shifts all week, and I didn't have the energy to argue. So against my better judgment, I agreed.
Fine.
But you have to follow the rules. No peanuts. No food that isn't pre-approved. If she tells you she can't eat something, listen to her. Margaret sighed loudly. "You act like I don't know how to take care of a child. Don't be dramatic, Lena." I gritted my teeth. "I'm serious, Margaret." She made an empty promise, and I let it go. I should have known better. That night, I left detailed instructions in Lily's overnight bag. I even packed her favorite snacks to make things easier. Before heading to work, I looked Lily in the eyes and said, If Grandma gives you anything you're not sure about, don't eat it.
Call me.
Promise? Lily nodded. She trusted me. But trust wouldn't save her. I was supposed to work until 3 a.m., but my replacement arrived early, so I was able to leave an hour ahead of schedule. I remember feeling relieved. All I wanted was a hot shower and a few hours of sleep before picking up Lily in the morning. But when I pulled into my driveway at 2 a.m., I noticed something strange. The lights in the living room were still on. I stepped inside and immediately heard laughter, not just the TV, but Lily's voice. I smiled, setting my bag down. Lily? Margaret? I'm home. Silence. Then I heard Margaret's voice from the living room.
See?
That wasn't so bad, was it? Something about her tone made my stomach drop. I turned the corner, and my world stopped. Lily was sitting on the couch. In front of her, on the coffee table, was a half-eaten peanut butter sandwich. The smell of peanuts hit me like a punch to the chest. I felt my pulse skyrocket. My breath caught in my throat.
No. No, no, no.
What are you doing? I screamed. Margaret looked up, startled. Then she frowned. You're back early. Like that was the problem. Margaret barely looked fazed. She sat back on the couch, arms folded, while my eyes locked onto the half-eaten peanut butter sandwich sitting on the coffee table. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. Lily wasn't moving. She just sat there, staring at me, her face pale. I took a shaky breath, my voice tight with panic. What did you do? Margaret rolled her eyes. I fed my granddaughter real food for once. My vision blurred with rage. She has a peanut allergy.
You knew that.
I told you 1,000 times. Oh, stop, she snapped, waving a dismissive hand.
She's fine.
She was just being dramatic like you, refusing to eat. So I made her. Something in her tone, the casual cruelty of it, made my skin crawl. I turned to Lily, desperate to know what happened. Sweetheart, did you eat this? She didn't answer. She just lowered her head. Lily, I said more firmly, stepping toward her. Then Margaret stood up and blocked my path. Don't start with this nonsense, Lena. I tried to push past her, but she wouldn't move. She's fine, Margaret insisted. And she needed to learn that these allergies are all in her head. The room spun around me. What do you mean, learn? I whispered, afraid of the answer. Margaret smirked. She refused to eat it at first, just like you trained her to do. So I gave her a little encouragement. Her eyes flicked toward Lily. A terrible, suffocating feeling crept into my chest. I knelt in front of my daughter, gently tilting her chin up to face me. That's when I saw it. A faint, reddening mark on her cheek. Like a slap. I swallowed back bile. Did she hit you? I whispered. Lily hesitated. Then, barely above a whisper, she nodded. I closed my eyes. My body shook with rage. Margaret huffed. Oh, for God's sake. It was just a little slap to stop the tantrum. She needed to eat. And guess what? She did. So maybe now she'll stop acting like she's allergic to every little thing. I couldn't breathe. She hit my child. Then she forced her to eat something that could kill her. Something inside me snapped. I shoved Margaret aside so hard, she stumbled back onto the couch. Then I grabbed Lily's face between my hands. Her breathing was shallow.
Too shallow.
My fingers brushed against her neck, feeling her pulse. Rapid.
Weak.
My worst fear was happening right in front of me. Lily's breathing was wrong. Too fast, too shallow. Her lips were losing color, her eyes wide with confusion. I barely heard Margaret sputtering behind me, some nonsense about how I was overreacting. I wasn't. I was losing my daughter. Lily's sweetheart, look at me, I said, forcing my voice to stay calm even though my hands were trembling. Is your throat itchy? Is it hard to breathe? She nodded. Then, in the smallest, weakest voice I had ever heard from her, she whispered, Mommy, my chest hurts. I was moving before she even finished speaking. I lunged for the side table drawer, yanked it open, and grabbed the EpiPen I always kept here, just in case. Margaret gasped. What are you doing? I ignored her. I uncapped the injector, held Lily's leg still, and stabbed the EpiPen into her thigh.
Click.
The familiar sound sent a strange wave of relief through me. "You don't have to do that," Margaret shouted. "She's fine. It's just a little rash." I whipped around so fast I nearly lost my balance. "She is going into anaphylactic shock, you idiot," I snapped. "She could die." "This isn't a damn rash. It's her airway closing up." Margaret finally started to look unsure. Lily shuddered in my arms, her body limp, her breath coming in wheezes. I grabbed my phone and called 911 with shaking hands. "This is Lena Brooks. I need an ambulance right now. My 10-year-old daughter is having anaphylaxis. I've administered 1 dose of epinephrine, but she needs immediate medical attention." The dispatcher's voice was calm.
Practiced.
"Stay with her, ma'am. Help is on the way." I didn't respond. I was already scooping Lily into my arms. Margaret stepped forward, her face pale. I didn't think. I cut her off with a glare so cold and furious that she actually took a step back. "You've done enough," I said. My voice was like steel. "Call Daniel. Tell him what you did." Then I turned my back on her, walked out the front door, and ran to my car. I wasn't waiting for an ambulance. I was getting my daughter to the hospital myself. I drove like a maniac, one hand on the wheel, the other gripping Lily's wrist, constantly checking her pulse, breathing, color, praying the EpiPen would be enough to keep her stable until we got to the hospital. Her breathing was still too shallow. Her skin was clammy. "Stay with me, baby," I whispered. "Just a few more minutes. We're almost there." I barely remember the drive. All I remember is the cold terror sitting in my chest, the raging fury simmering under it. When I screeched into the emergency entrance of Redwood General Hospital, I barely put the car in park before yanking my door open. I ran inside, Lily limp in my arms. "I need help. My daughter is in anaphylactic shock." Immediately, nurses and doctors rushed forward. I felt Lily being pulled from my arms, placed on a stretcher, an oxygen mask over her face. One of the doctors looked up, recognized me. "Lena?" It was Dr. Collins, one of my colleagues. His expression shifted from professional to concerned. "What happened?" I swallowed, my voice shaking. She was forced to eat peanuts." His eyes went hard. He nodded to the nurses. "Get a second dose of epinephrine ready. For antihistamines, steroids.
Now."
Then they wheeled Lily away, and I was left standing there, shaking. 15 minutes later, I was still sitting in the waiting area when Daniel burst through the doors. His tie was loosened, his shirt wrinkled, like he had run out of a meeting the second he got the call. His eyes found me immediately. "Lena, where is she?" I stood. My whole body felt like it was vibrating. "She's stable," I said, voice tight. "They're keeping her for observation." His shoulders sagged in relief. He ran a hand through his hair. "God, he stopped, his face darkening. "My mom told me what happened." Something inside me snapped. I stepped forward, jabbing a finger into his chest. "Then you already know." My voice was shaking with fury. "Your mother hit our daughter. She forced her to eat something she knew could kill her." Daniel flinched. "Lena,
No.
No excuses." I cut him off, my hands clenched. "I told you she didn't take this seriously. I warned you, and you kept telling me she was just old-fashioned."
His jaw tightened.
"I should have listened to you."
His voice was low, rough,
"And guilty." I folded my arms, staring at him. "What are you going to do about it?" A long silence stretched between us. Then Daniel's eyes hardened. "I'm going to make sure my mother never comes near Lily again." Just as Daniel finished speaking, a voice interrupted us. "Is she okay?" I turned. Margaret was standing there. She looked smaller than usual, her confidence cracked, her usual sharp glare replaced with hesitation. But I didn't care. I didn't want to hear a single word from her. "You have some nerve showing up here," I spat. Margaret flinched but lifted her chin. "I just wanted to see if she's all right." I took a step closer, my body shaking with anger and exhaustion. "You don't get to pretend you care now," I hissed. "Not after what you did." "Lena, No." My voice rose. Other people in the waiting room turned to look. You hit her, Margaret. You slapped my child across the face because she wouldn't eat something that could kill her. Margaret took a step back. I didn't think. That's the problem. I cut her off. You didn't think. You never think. You ignored everything I told you. Every doctor's warning. Every piece of evidence. And, because of you, Lily almost died. Her face crumbled for the first time. I thought if she just ate a little, she'd get used to it. I laughed, but it came out bitter. Used to it, I echoed. You thought my daughter could build an immunity by nearly suffocating to death. Margaret looked genuinely shaken now, her hands gripping her purse so tightly her knuckles turned white. I was wrong. Daniel stepped forward then, his voice like steel. Mom, what you did tonight was unforgivable. Margaret's eyes darted to him. Danny, No, he said, his tone sharp. I want you to leave.
Now.
She looked at him, looked at me, and then, for the first time, her eyes flicked toward the hallway where Lily was being treated. Something in her face cracked. I just wanted to go. I cut in.
Cold.
Final. You're not seeing her. You're not coming near her. You're done. Margaret opened her mouth, then closed it. Then she turned and walked out of the hospital, her shoulders hunched, silent for once in her life. Daniel exhaled, rubbing his face. She's going to try to fix this, he muttered. She won't get the chance, I replied. Because after tonight, we weren't just cutting her out. We were pressing charges. The next morning, I sat in the hospital room, holding Lily's hand. She was awake now, her color returning, but she was still weak, her voice hoarse from the allergic reaction. Mom, she whispered. I squeezed her fingers. I'm here, sweetheart. She hesitated, then asked the question I knew was coming. Is Grandma coming back? I swallowed the lump in my throat.
No, baby.
She's not. Lily's lips pressed together. She didn't say anything, but the look on her face told me she was relieved. And that sealed it. I reached for my phone and dialed. This is Lena Brooks, I said when the officer picked up. I want to report a case of child endangerment and assault. By the time we were discharged, everything was already in motion. Dr. Collins and the hospital filed an official report. Child Protective Services, CPS, launched an investigation. We applied for a restraining order. And, most importantly, we pressed criminal charges. Margaret was arrested 2 days later. She called Daniel over and over, but he let every call go to voicemail. The last message she left was desperate. Danny, please. I didn't mean to hurt her. I love her. You have to believe me. But love doesn't excuse what she did. Love doesn't erase the bruise on Lily's cheek or the memory of her gasping for air. 3 months later, we sat in the courtroom as the judge read the verdict. Margaret Brooks, you have been found guilty of child endangerment and assault on a minor. Margaret sat stiffly, hands clenched in her lap. You are hereby sentenced to 2 years in prison, followed by mandatory completion of an intensive food allergy education program. Furthermore, you are permanently restricted from any unsupervised contact with your granddaughter. I closed my eyes. It was over. Margaret would never hurt Lily again. And we could finally move forward. A year had passed since that night. Lily was thriving. She had grown more confident, more aware of how to protect herself. She no longer hesitated to speak up when someone offered her food, always asking, "Does this have peanuts?" Daniel and I had changed too. We weren't just parents anymore, we were advocates. I had started working with a food allergy awareness group, speaking at schools and daycare centers about the dangers of negligence. Daniel, once hesitant to stand against his mother, now helped educate other families on how to handle relatives who refused to take allergies seriously. We had rebuilt our home, our trust, our sense of safety. And Margaret? She was still serving her prison sentence. She had written letters, apologizing, begging to see Lily again. But I never responded, because forgiveness is one thing, trust is another. On Lily's 11th birthday, we threw a small party in our backyard. She laughed, surrounded by friends, her cheeks full of color, full of life. As I watched her run across the yard, I felt something shift inside me. Relief.
Peace.
Margaret was gone, but we were still here.
And we had won.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more amazing content. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.